This is going to be a short and sweet video on the worst soap opera by far in January of 2023, The Bold and the Beautiful. Just when I think Bradley Bell's writing can't get any worse than it's been for years and years and years, he always proves me wrong, that it can always get worse. Once upon a time, in the 2010s, I thought Bold and the Beautiful was the absolute worst soap opera of the 2010s. These last couple of years, I've seen some entertaining stories here and there. I've had Bold high in my rankings at times, but I think we are back on track for Bold and the Beautiful to be the worst soap opera of the 2020s as well, all thanks to Bradley Bell's writing. Seriously, there is only one story to talk about on Bold and the Beautiful because there's been only one story this entire month. Usually I have a whole page of notes for my soap operas when I talk about them, not even half a page for the Bold and the Beautiful, because this stuff is garbage. What is this Bill storyline, this Bill and Sheila relationship out of nowhere just because Sheila ran to him on the beach? He was in a bad place because Katie didn't want him, even though Bill wanted Brooke first anyway. None of it makes sense. It's the usual stuff from this show and from Bradley's writing that I absolutely hate, and why I thought it was the worst soap opera of the 2010s, because the characters mean nothing. It's hard to actually continue to care about any of the characters on this show because they are just a plot point. There is nothing to them anymore. There is no layers to their character. They just go in and out of plots here and there to fit whatever weird bad stories Bradley Bell wants to write. And so now Bill and Sheila are a thing out of nowhere, and Bill is going so far to even blackmail Steffi and Finn to not testify against Sheila, because if not, he's going to go to the police about Taylor shooting him years ago. And we're getting a bunch of flashbacks to Sheila's past deeds and past relationships, and a bunch of flashbacks to Bill's past deeds and past relationships. So I guess we're supposed to think that they are together because Bill has been a villain in the past, and they're connecting, that they can just be themselves around each other. I guess that's what the show is going for. The writing isn't there to show us any of that, honestly, other than flashbacks. So I don't really think that's true. And then the oddest part for me is that when Katie's berating Bill for like an entire episode, or two, I don't even remember, because I did a lot of fast forwarding from Bold this month, because there's one story and it's terrible. Katie's berating Bill an entire episode and he says nothing the entire time. It was weird. I don't know if we're supposed to think that something's wrong with Bill or what. If it has something to do with this weird sword necklace, I don't know. None of it makes sense. We're just supposed to accept the fact that Bill loves Sheila out of absolutely nowhere because they ran into each other on the beach. I genuinely think this is only a storyline because the actor that plays Deacon is on a book tour and is doing some other acting, so they didn't have Deacon and Sheila together, and somehow Bradley thought, I need to get Sheila off some way, and I need Sheila in a relationship. I know, Bill and Sheila together, even though it makes no sense whatsoever. It's just, that's how Bradley writes. Just, this character can move on to this thing because that's the plot I want to tell. Doesn't matter if it doesn't fit the character at all. Doesn't matter if it makes Bill look the most pathetic and weak he's ever looked in his life, even though Bill has mostly been the opposite of that. And also, there's no continuity because when Bill and Liam were in prison, like last year, I think, or the year before, yeah, it was 2020, Bill had no real power of getting Liam out of prison, but now he suddenly has all this power with lawyers and all this power to help Sheila get out of prison, and the blackmail is what gets Sheila out of prison. Even though I know it's a soap trope for so long, and a TV show trope in general, even if you don't press charges, the police could still pursue charges against a person, and I think they would pursue charges against a person like Sheila. And so I'm at this point where I've talked a lot about how I love the character of Sheila. It adds a lot to the show, but clearly, Bold and the Beautiful is out of ideas on how to keep Sheila around because the writing just isn't there. This is a terrible plot just to keep Sheila around. It's absolutely terrible. I would put this Bill and Sheila storyline that came out of nowhere up there with some of the worst stories I've ever seen. Last year I complained about some of the stories on Days of Our Lives, the Possession 2.0, and the Sarah losing her mind thinking she's a child. Those two stories were some of the worst I've ever seen. This story is right there with it. I think the other big part that's missing from this random coupling is that there is absolutely no chemistry between Bill and Sheila. It's awkward to watch. It's not good to watch. It's bad enough that the story is awkward because it's told so poorly and random, but you add to the fact that there's no chemistry either, and we have Bill and Sheila making love. Very hard to get through. I think Bold and the Beautiful is quite literally unwatchable right now. I went on this rant in one of my last soap opera videos about General Hospital, how the American soap operas are letting me down so much, and I gave up American soap operas for several years in the middle of the 2010s, all of them. I gave up on all of them in the mid to late 2010s because they were all so hard to watch, and I honestly feel like starting to get to that point again. If I wasn't doing these rankings, I don't think I would be watching, well, I certainly would not be watching the CBS soap operas at all. Bold and Young and the Restless, I would not be watching at all. There's a couple of things I like on General Hospital and Days, but I'm starting to get sick of both of those shows too. So I have no faith in Bold and the Beautiful getting better. I have no faith in any of the CBS soaps, Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful. I don't think they're going to be getting any better anytime soon. I think this is going to be a very bad year for both of them. Bradley Bell's writing, I am sick of the writing. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about Bold, because that's all that there is going on. This is the only story. We just see a bunch of people reacting to the fact that Bill and Sheila are dating and being shocked, from Liam to Wyatt to Brooke. It's terrible. I'm recording this before anything aired in the last week of January because I don't care to watch it. I'm not going to watch it. I will not watch Bold and the Beautiful again until February starts. The first episode of February is when I will return to watching the Bold and the Beautiful. For now, it's last place in my rankings, January 2023, because the Bill and Sheila story is not just unwatchable, but one of the worst stories I've ever seen in my life.